to the Sunday celebration. I am Reverend Laine Morgan, and I am blessed to serve as the senior minister of this community. And I am thrilled that you're all here. I'm thrilled that I'm here. I wasn't here last week and getting settled in my new home, and I'll be talking about that a little bit this morning. I want to welcome all of you in the room. I also want to welcome folks watching on YouTube either right now or throughout the week when they join in and see our lesson. We have people that watch from far and wide. We have members that live in other places, but we also have folks that just tune in every now and then. So we're thrilled to welcome everybody joining us, and we invite you to join us virtually if you ever can't be in the room. And if you're a first-time visitor, and I know we have some first-time visitors this morning, there is a blue card in your program, and if you will fill that out, we would love to get your information and get you on our mailing list, but we would also like to send you home with a Science of Mind magazine where you can learn more about the philosophy that we teach and what we're all about. And we have centers all over the world. This is a movement of people all over the world that believe that how you choose to think creates your life, and that the more positive and loving we can all be, the better our lives will be. And so welcome to that message this morning. So our theme this morning is about living powerfully as a spiritual being on the human plane of existence. So when I was here a few weeks ago, I talked a little bit about that, and we're going to talk some more about it today, about how do we empower ourselves as spiritual beings living on the human plane. So we do have an affirmation today, and it's going to be up on the screen, and I'll read it first, and then we'll say it together. It says, I know there is a power for good that responds and co-creates with me. So read that with me. I know there is a power for good that responds and co-creates with me. Which really is saying that Spirit is the power that created everything and sustains everything. And that power actually responds to us and helps us create our lives. And so when we have a good relationship with that power, then we have better things happening in our lives. So and don't forget, at the end of the service, I will be staying in the sanctuary for Q&A. So I like to say the Q comes first. That's all you. So write down your questions or whatever that might be sparked throughout the service, and I'll meet you here after the service. Our practitioner today is Randy Sutherland. He's also our announcement guru, and he'll be doing a reading and a prayer and the announcements. He's busy today. And Wiza Mfukwe, is that good? Awesome. He's returned to be our musician today, and all of his music today is original. He's a singer-songwriter he lives right here in Tampa. We are so blessed. He's a friend of Derek's, and he was here last week, and I got to see a little bit of on video, but I'm really excited about hearing him solo today. Front and center, we're excited about that. And he's going to sing this original song together as his first number, and then after our song, Randy's going to share the announcements this morning. So, Lisa, tell us about the song.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Hello to faces I saw last week and some new faces. Thank you very much for having me. So this first song, Together, is a song that I wrote initially. I think I wrote it in 2012, when I first saw the political stuff going on with Obama and stuff like that, and I realized that there's a lot of disconnect between people, and what I would like to see is what I see over here, because everybody is helping everyone. And the community is important to build and for growth and in the long term for prosperity. And so Together was my essential call to just remind myself and anybody who hears this that we can accomplish bigger and greater things when we help each other. So this is Together.
Maybe the flag waves because you're here, because I'm here for you. Maybe the flag waves for us. I want you to know that together we are stronger than at all. I want you to know that we are strong. You're not alone in this life that you want. I am here for you. You're not alone. Lies can be a hard thing to do. Interpreting moments can be hard. I need you by me to see the things that I will not be willing to see. I need you to see those things in me. You're not alone in this life that you know. I'm here for you. You're not alone in this life that you know. I'm here for you. Let me hold you whenever you need company and you feel so alone. I just want to make it better. Hold you whenever you are one to me. You will not be alone. You're super. Let me hold you whenever you need company and you feel so alone. I just want to make it better. Hold you whenever you all want to me. You will not be alone. You're super. You're super. You're super. Together we'll accomplish all, because there is no pain and we are not alone. Together we'll accomplish all, because there is no pain and we are not alone. You're not alone in this life that you know. I'm here for you. You're not alone in this life that you know. I'm here for you. Let me hold you whenever you need company and you feel so alone. I just want to make it better. Hold you whenever you are one to me. You will not be alone. You're super. You're super. You're super. Maybe the flag waves because you're here, because I'm here for you.
I hate to tell you, but they would much rather listen to you than they would to me. Just saying, what a wonderful song. And we are so happy to have you here. Let's give them another hand. Okay, well, as in keeping with one of our most basic teachings, wherever there is a captive audience, there will be announcements. If you missed the class on Wednesday evening, don't worry, you have 2 more opportunities to participate. This week, the topic is about living in relationship to spiritual law. So come to the sanctuary at 6:30 this coming Wednesday if you'd like to participate. Registration can be done online, or anyone can show up and register on the spot. We will anoint you as you walk through the door, and you will be able to participate, just like Keith. Today, we launch our 2024 membership campaign. Forms are available in your programs, and a link will be placed in the comments online for our virtual membership as well. The annual member meeting will be after service on March 24th. Reverend Laine will explain more about the new level of voting member at the end of the service and answer your questions during her Q&A session. So please stick around for that. Please plan to join us for Volunteer Day here at the Center on Saturday, February 10th. It's called Love Your Center Day. We have several projects planned to spruce up our space here. And if we all show up, it will be short work. It should be quite fun. If you're one of those people who feels they should be in management, you can come too. And you can direct others and tell them where to go and what to do. Everything will start at 10 a.m., so watch the newsletter for more details. And speaking of volunteering, we are looking to form a team to help coordinate group volunteering for all of us. If this interests you, the initial meeting will be during our February 10th workday so the team can get organized. And another thing that will be coming up that will be of interest to many of you, we will be having more Be Kind t-shirts. They will first be available on the Love Your Center Day, and we'll be selling them for $20 until they are sold out. And if anyone online wants to buy a shirt, you can do so by emailing the center, and we will be happy to ship it to you. We welcome your prayer requests, and you can place those in on the prayer card in your programs. Place these in the offering basket at the end of the service, and know that the practitioners and Reverend Laine will pray for you this very week. And now, please lead us in our unifying experience.
You can say a little if you'd like on this one. So every week during this time in the service, we try to come together. We call it a unifying experience, meaning that we're all focused on one thing and we come together in one mind. And today I have lit the candle of oneness. So oneness is one of the core principles of our faith, of our philosophy, and that means that we are all one, that everything is made out of the same God energy, and we are that as well. So the oneness candle, this morning we light this candle in symbolic representation of the spiritual truth of oneness. In this light, we recognize that all people are one human race. In this light, we remember that all religions are in recognition of one eternal energy called God and many other names. In this light, we know that all truth is part of one spiritual truth. In this light, we remember that all love is part of the one love of God. In this light, we know that peace is possible in the spirit of oneness. And in this light, we recognize that we, here in this spiritual center, are one. So I invite you to sit with a moment and know that we are all one. And so it is.
So it is.
One of the things that you're going to hear a great deal about today is power, and personal power and how you get it. And I thought maybe I'd like to share with you something that the great New Thought philosopher Neville Goddard had to say about this topic. Today is the day. Today is the eternal now, when conditions round about you have attained the appearance of giants, such as unemployment, the armies of your enemy, your problems, and all the things that seem to threaten you. Those are the giants that make you feel yourself to be a grasshopper. But, you are told, you were first in your own sight a grasshopper, and because of this, you were to the giants a grasshopper. In other words, you can only be to others what you are first to yourself. Therefore, to revalue yourself and begin to feel yourself to be the giant, a center of power, is to dwarf those former giants and make them grasshoppers. This being true, why not become aware of being great? Why not become aware of God-loving, becoming wealthy, healthy, and all the attributes that you admire? It is just as easy to possess the consciousness of these qualities as it is to possess their opposites. For you have not your present consciousness, for have you not presented your present consciousness because of these words? On the contrary, your world is what it is because of your present consciousness. Simple, is it not? Too simple, in fact, for the wisdom of men. So, why make it complicated? I invite you to join me in prayer now. I know this truth. There is only one source of all things. There is a divine mind that creates and sustains its creations. That is the divine spirit. That is the one mind that is back of all things. In this moment, I recognize that the divine mind, the creator of all things, is here, right here, within you and within me and within each one of us. It is from this ideal that power comes. Personal power, the power to express ourselves into the world, to be big and not small. And I know that right here and right now that we are allowing the power of creation to come forth. This power is you, this power is me. It is in this community and all who have chosen to be a part of it. This power is in everyone here. It is expressed in the words that will be spoken by Reverend Laine. It is expressed in the music which inspires and touches our hearts. And it is in the gathering of every mind and every heart. I know that this service is blessed and committed to that divine expression. And for all of that, I am grateful. I am grateful that the Spirit has shown up in this way, in this time, and in this place. And knowing that truth, I can release this prayer, this treatment, this knowing into that creation, and know that its good and that its perfect work has been done already, and so it is.
So it is.
Alright, so this song that I'm going to be singing is a little bit about myself. So, I'm a singer-songwriter, and a lot of the stuff that I write about is introspective and has to deal with a lot of my struggles. Because as a musician, you have to, pick between the functional route and actually choosing to do what it is that you think you're called to do. Because you never truly know. There's no answers for anything that I've found. But I just do the things that bring me the joy. And I know everybody has some sort of goal, something that drives you, whether it be the people around you, higher power, or something like that. And the blind faith is that's the name of the song I'm about to sing. And we all follow this path without really having an outline. We have this faith that it's going to work out, that we're going to reach that end that we're supposed to be at. And so blind faith is the conceptualization of my thoughts, getting that all in one place. So this is blind faith.
Go straight, will you lead me to your embrace? Or should I run away? I don't know what the future holds. Should I look or should I fold? Don't wanna gamble on. I have this faith in you. I don't know what to do. I have this faith in you. Blinded by this truth. long for you. Don't fall kindly, lead me back to you, back to you. What too long for you. I have this faith in you. I don't know what to do. I have this faith in you. Blinded by this truth. I long for you.
Thank you so much. Wow. Let's just thank Derek for bringing music to us. What a lovely, talented musician we have this morning. Thank you. I will just be putting you on our calendar. Do you all agree? Thanks. You're really good. Okay. So I want to start our lesson this morning with a quote from the book that changed my life. So when I was very resistant to the word God, I was resistant to all forms of faith and all of that, I read this book called Return to Love by Marianne Williamson. And Marianne had been on the Oprah show and talked about this book, Return to Love. And I think it's going to be a part of our summer program, I'll tell you that. So at any rate, she wrote this. She wrote, humanity is a group of infinitely powerful creatures. Humanity is a group of infinitely powerful creatures. And when I first read this book 20 years ago, more than 20 years ago, I didn't know that I was powerful. I really didn't. Maybe you feel the same way when someone says you're infinitely powerful. But I sometimes question my own personal power, much less feeling infinitely powerful. That's a little bit hard for me to really wrap my brain around. But, it sometimes feels like life is happening, all around me, and I'm just kind of swimming, trying to keep my head above water, right? And trying to respond as lovingly as I can to every challenge and trying to be as good a person as I can be. And I can do all of that on most days, right? But often I feel like it all lacks anything that looks like power. You relate to that, just kind of getting through life. I don't know that I feel powerful. But here we are. We're here in the month of January, and the very end of the month of January, actually, when perhaps all of our big resolutions or intentions or goals have lost their luster a little bit, and maybe we feel like we're once again just hoody-doing through life, the end of January, and this road feels very familiar. Wait a minute. We decided to have a grand rising in 2024, a grand rising. I have 11 more months to go, and so do you, I want to make them count. I want to live in such a way that I am aware of my power, and I use my power for good. So what I know is that each one of us, every single one of us, was born at this moment in history for a reason. We are existing in 2024 because we have a divine appointment to be here in 2024. For that matter, we were each drawn to this room here at the Center for Spiritual Living for a purpose. And maybe it's to continue your own personal journey of physical, emotional, and mental healing, or maybe it's just to take more steps to making a positive difference in the world around you. I don't know why you're here, but I'm glad you're here. And what I know is that if we each start a day with a grand rising, we will create a ripple effect across our own lives, our communities, and the world around us. And this year, we're being invited to step outside of our comfort zones, leaning into our healing work, leaning into this transformational process that we are having, and share our inner light and co-create a world that works for everyone. That's what we're going to do in this amazing year. So my lesson today is titled Infinitely Powerful, because I want to remind us that we actually are indeed powerful, and as powerful as we want to be. We matter in the realm of our lives to the degree that we show up claiming our power, to know that we matter, even in these seemingly small moments. Because can we all agree that life happens in the small moments? Life just keeps small moments strung together with small moments. Our lives are kind of revealed in the patterns that we hold in place by our own quirky habits and choices in the small moments. And those habits and choices are held in place by the thoughts that we think over and over again, and that we've been choosing for a long time. We choose the same things. Our philosophy is all about shifting our awareness or our consciousness, shifting it into one of greater personal impact and personal power in the small moments. That's what we're trying to do. So I want to talk about how powerful we are on different levels of our experiences. So I talked about this Wednesday night in class, and talked a little bit about in Sacred Cup this morning too, that we are human selves and we are also spiritual selves. And the first level, the human level, is who we are physically, emotionally, and mentally. And as I often teach, we are souls, or we're spiritual beings, and when we came onto this human plane, we were given some things. Remember, we were given our magic suits. We were given our personalities and our brains. We were given these tools to use as we walk around being human. And you were gifted with these things to get around. A magic suit to actually transport yourself around, a brain to think thoughts with, and a heart to feel and express emotions with, and a personality, which I think helps us relate to other human beings. I think that's what our personality is for. These are amazing gifts. These are amazing gifts that we're given. And we have great power in how we show up on the human plane with those gifts, how we practice using those gifts and show up as those gifts in the world. We have a set of thoughts that maintain the choices we make in relationship to our magic suits, right? We have thoughts that cause us to choose different things about our bodies, our brains, our personalities. And, science has taught us that there are genetics that are involved in all of those things, but man, we have power. We have power. A powerfully aware person who loves themselves to death. Have you ever said, I love you to death? I love you to death. If you love yourself to death, so to speak, that powerful person has habits and rituals that they keep in place to maximize their health, right? And their well-being and their strength and their functioning. And the things they do every day reflect the power they know they have over their bodies. And we all have this power, and some of us step into that power every day, and some of us just don't, right? There are endless numbers of reasons why we aren't all operating at maximum physical capacity, but most of them come back to choices that we started making when we were really young, right? And these choices become habits, and we're living the effects of those causes, unless and until we claim our power to do something different and change the course that we're on. Most of us spend almost our whole lives, almost our whole lives, just trying to figure out how much power we really do have over our magic suit, or over our brains and our hearts and our personalities. We identify so strongly with these human gifts we were given that it takes a long time to start repositioning our focus to mastering the connection with our original identity, or our soul. Can you relate to what I'm saying? We spend a lot of time figuring the other stuff out before we turn and say, wait a minute, there's something bigger going on here. See, the thing is, we were taught that the most important parts of living were the parts that positioned us in the world in a desirable way. We spend so many years trying to figure out, how do I make the best choices to land the good job? How do I get in a good relationship? How do I live in the right place? How do I have a good dog, for that matter, right? And along the way, we realize that achieving all of those things, while lovely and great, they please us, what breaks our hearts, we learn all of these different things, but we don't necessarily feel satisfied. You know, we want things on the human level. What do we want? We want safety, stability, security, comfort. You know, we feel powerful when our bodies, our minds, and our hearts and personalities operate in such a way that we feel safe, secure, and stable. But most of us, at some point in our lives, we hit that place, we realize that everything I did, I simply did not have enough human power to maintain safety, stability, and security. So too many human things get in the way. Things like things people do that are out of your control. Things like relationships ending, or car accidents happening, or jobs shifting. All of these different things happen, and just life happens. And the proverbial rug seems to get jerked out from underneath us when we're using all of our human power the best that we can. And when that happens, that's when we begin to look for answers. Now, if you're like me, you were given lots of theories about why life happens. Why? You might have been taught, well, it was God's will, honey, that was just God's will. Or you might have been taught that you were being punished for something. Or you were living out karma from another life. Or the stars were not lined up appropriately. Judy especially likes that one. The stars are not all right. Or how about you got up on the wrong side of the bed, or you're unlucky, or it wasn't in the cards. Have you heard, you laugh because you've heard all of these things. And even if life shows up in a really great way, you hear the same things. God was smiling upon you, or you were being rewarded for your good deeds, or your karma was strong. The stars did align, and you finally got out of bed on the right side. I don't know why we don't learn that earlier. Your luck changed, or your cards were dealt in some better way. You know, we're taught that the power is out there somewhere, right? And we laugh because these phrases are constantly said to us. Human beings are meaning makers. We have to make meaning over everything that happened. We have to have a way of explaining things and giving reasons for the inexplicable. So at some point along the way, we start realizing that those phrases are not quite right. We start looking for better answers. We start listening to better podcasts and reading different books or talking to different people. And somewhere along the way, spirituality crossed your path. And here you are. And here you are. I know it did for me. When I read Return to Love a long time ago, I had just gone through, a hard breakup and a custody fight, and this career placement took me all the way across the country where my support system was not there. And I knew religion was not for me. But there was this emptiness in me that God had filled when I was young. I had that God thing when I was young, but I didn't have it then. And as I said, I was drawn to the Oprah Show and Marianne Williamson and Thomas More and Deepak Chopra and Wayne Dyer and all those authors. And eventually I made my way to the Center for Spiritual Living. And there I was taught. There I was taught what I have dedicated my life to teaching others, and that is this. Ernest Holmes says, there is one power in the universe, and we can all use it. There's one power in the universe, and we can all use it. And further, they reminded me that I had been using that one power my whole life. I had already created a whole bunch of stuff in my life using that one power. I was taught to spiritually look around my life and accept that it had all showed up to let me know what I believed I really deserved. That's what my life is, to show me what I still needed to release and heal, to illustrate for me that my highest and best life is right here, based on my current level of self-esteem and understanding of that power that I was using. And if I didn't like any of it, I had the power to shift. I had the power to make a different decision. I had the power to express myself differently in the world of my affairs, to create better habits of action and choice and thoughts. And life changed. Basically, I had the power to change my thinking, change my life, which is our teaching. I had the power to start sending better quality Laine out into the world. And in doing so, I would experience a better life interacting with Laine. I would still be using the gifts. I would still be using my body, my brain, my heart, my personality to do the changing that I wanted to do, but it would be my spiritual self, my soul in charge. See, I learned that that part of myself was connected to the source of all power, the source of every good thing, God or Spirit. And if I practice consciously or purposefully connecting to that source every day through meditation and prayer and music and anything else I could find to keep me remembering that I'm a soul, if I could stay connected, I could use that power and I could surrender and let that power use me. There's a power of good in the universe and I can use it and it can use me. So in 2002, I began in earnest Holmes, actually, to claim my power and reclaim my life and change my life. For example, I began this deep forgiveness work. I released all the grudges and the pain and the grievances that held me hostage emotionally and mentally. I began to practice generosity, showing up, and I stopped being afraid of loss. I began my daily practice of gratitude to shift my awareness to what was working instead of what wasn't working. I began setting boundaries about myself and my space so that my peace of mind became so very important to me. The bottom line is I began to look at my life experiences differently and therefore starting loving myself more, myself, my true self, my soul. And I purposely use that word I began because 22 years later, I'm still doing it. I'm still doing the same things. I'm still doing the forgiveness work and all the things I mentioned. I'm still claiming my connection to the power every day. And guess what? Over time, my life kept improving and healing. I could lift up my head and decide to make use of the power in ways that had a positive impact on the people around me and the world in general. I wanted to use the power for good. And there's this book called Right Use of Power by Dr. Cedar Barstow, and he wrote this: being accountable for our behavior and caring about our impact on others brings deeper and more authentic relationships. Peace of mind and heart follow naturally. That's what I discovered. And at first, I just wanted to quit my job. I just wanted to quit my job and do something meaningful. I wanted to go somewhere and work with children or something, right? But I quickly realized that wasn't necessary. Spirit didn't care what I did in the world with the power of good. Spirit cared who I was doing whatever it is I did. So I decided that who I was going to be, no matter where I went, I was going to be kind and compassionate and generous and loving and a human being that connected to all people. And with that goal, I could be doing any job. So I kept my job in higher education, and I loved people well there. And guess what? I made my community the place where I loved people well. I basically filled my realm of influence with as much of myself as possible. And let me tell you, holding to that commitment takes a grand rising every day. My grand rising, so to speak, started back then and it continues in 2024. And over the years, I've learned that I can connect with the power in the big things and the small things. And I want to share a little bit about my most recent big life change and how Spirit, as power, worked on my behalf, even when my faith was challenged. So, a lot of you know this story, but just to catch everybody up, about 5 months ago, my wife Terry retired, right? And as part of that big change, we decided we no longer needed to live or wanted to live in Manatee County, close to the medical practice where she had been practicing. So we put our house on the market 5 months ago. And we started looking for a place in Sarasota, which was Terry's former hometown. So we found this great house, okay? So we found this great house, but it needed renovation. So we bought it on faith, knowing that our parish house would sell, and if necessary, we could live amongst the renovation if we had to, right? We trusted the power in this great big life decision, all right? So I reminded myself that there are two things we can't control. We can't control the when, and we can't control the how. We can control the what do we want? We can't control the when and the how. So I had the practitioners, they were praying for us too, right? They were like praying for divine timing. And at first I trusted the process. At first I was so faithful. I say at first because as the weeks went by, the showings in our house and parish started dwindling, right? They became very infrequent. And we were distracted, by some travel, by the holidays. This past 5 months have been pretty busy, right? But I could feel my stress rising, and Terry's might have been rising too. You'll have to ask her. But financially, long term, we needed things to start moving along. We needed the ball to start rolling. And I kept trying to focus on the renovations of the new house, affirming this course of divine timing. I kept asking the practitioners, could you just pray some more? Just know for me, just know for us that the divine timing is as it's going to be. And man, it was hard. It was hard. And at the end of December, our house had been on the market like 4 months. And now our contractor down in Sarasota is basically saying, you know what, we'll be ready in about 2 to 3 weeks. So you can plan to move in January. And so what should we do? Should we go ahead and move our stuff out of our house and then leave our house empty? Or is that the way to sell the house? Like human level. We're working on the human level. Should we do this? And we did everything on the human level we knew how to do. I called my old real estate friend, Jane, up in Atlanta. I'm like, well, I need advice. So on the human level, I reached for answers. I surrendered the process to Amy Dame, who's one of our congregants, fabulous real estate agent, by the way, and just said, okay, I trust the process. I just have to trust the process. So we decided we would pack and move. We just packed and moved everything behind the scenes to the new house. We left it all pretty and everything, all the pictures on the walls, all the furniture. We practiced. We just moved it. And we were just so ready for the pressure to be relieved, right? We wanted that answer, the when. We wanted to know the when. And then finally, the when was known because we got a contract, a really lovely contract on January 2nd, right? So it could not have been more perfect timing. If it had sold quickly, we would have been miserable living in all the sawdust and all this stuff and down in Sarasota, or living in an Airbnb or something, right? The power cooperated with us for the easiest move I have ever done. And there are a few final detail touches on the house that still will be done over the next week or so, but overall, spiritual power just joined us in the process, and divine timing was divine timing. The mechanical details were handled, but also my internal world was handled too. Faith held me steady and helped me tremendously. And I could feel that presence throughout the process, even when I was stressed. I try to be so very, very positive. So my question to you today is, what are you going to do in your grand rising with the power that you are? Are you going to dedicate 2024 to your best self-love? Healing the patterns that limit you? Are you going to rise up as your soul and connect with who you really are? Are you going to shift something in your material experience like I did? Are you ready to take your grand rising out into the world and make a difference for everyone? That power is with you every day when you do your job. Whatever your job is, use it. That power is with you when you walk your neighborhood and you interact with others, use it. That power is with you when you consider your options on any topic in your life, use it. The power is with you when you choose to love yourself and treat others well. Use it. The power is with you when you empower others. Use it. And if every single one of us did that, we would have a collective impact in our shared world. When we judge less, include more, accept others, spread light, when we invite others around us into their own grand rising, we make a difference. Let's do this. Let's do this together, as Louise sang. We're meant to feel good, shine, lead, and co-create a collective grand rising. I want you to know that you are powerful, infinitely powerful. Know this with me today. Know it for yourself. And I'm going to close with this meditative writing by Ernest Holmes in his book, The Living the Science of Mind. So if you just want to go within, no one writes a prayer better than Ernest Holmes. And here is what he wrote. I know there is a power for good, which is responding to me and bringing into my experience everything that is necessary to my unfoldment, to my happiness, to my peace, to my health and to my success. I know there is a power for good that enables me to help others and to bless the whole world. So I say quietly to myself, there is one life. That life is God. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. It is flowing through me, circulating in me. I am one with its rhythm. My heart beats with the pulsation of the universe in serenity, in peace, and in joy. My whole physical being is animated by the divine spirit, and if there is anything in it that does not belong, it is cast out, because there is one perfect life in me now. And I say to myself, I am daily guided so that I shall know what to do under every circumstance, in every situation. Divine intelligence guides me in love, in joy, and in complete self-expression. Desiring that the law of good alone shall control me, I bless and prosper everything I am doing. I multiply every activity. I accept and expect happiness and complete success. Realizing that I am one with all people, I affirm that there is a silent power flowing through me and them, which blesses and heals and prospers, makes happy and glad their pathway. And realizing that the world is made up of people like myself, I bless the world and affirm that it shall come under the divine government of good, under the divine providence of love, and under the divine leadership of the supreme intelligence. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. And so it is.
And so it is.
Thank you, and thanks, Ernest Holmes, for a beautiful affirming prayer of the power of good that operates in us and through all of us. So thank you for being with us this morning and online. And before we say farewell to the online folks, I really do invite all of you into a time of love and appreciation and generosity. Whether you give through texting or the QR code or whatever, however you give, that we will pass the offering baskets in a moment. We thank you for your generous support. This ministry only exists as we give to each other. And we have a conscious giving affirmation, if you'll join me in that, so that we can collectively bless the offering. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive abundantly. And so it is. And as they pass the offering plate, Louisa and I will sing I Am So Blessed, and we hope that you will all join us in that song.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful.